Hello everybody, this is Graeme Anderson from Four Corners of the Board, and today I'm going to be looking at Legendary Forests. Now this is a game where you're going to be playing dryads, that is, imaginary spirits in the forest. You're hoping to grow the most beautiful forest on a planet. You're going to do this with one person drawing random tiles from their stack, and then everyone places the same tile in their play area. Now it does remind me a bit of a game called Karuba, but in this game there is no race aspect. You're just going to be scoring points at the end of the game based on where you've placed the tree tokens. Now it sounds like a nice, simple, relaxing game, but is that enough? Let's get it to the table, see how it's played, then we'll come back for my final thoughts on Legendary Forests.
So here's Legendary Forest set up for 2 players. Each player has an identical set of tiles, each with a number on it from 1 to 25. They will show up to 4 different types of plants. Both players will place their number 1 tiles in the middle of the play area. One person is the architect. They will have their tiles face down and shuffle them, then remove 5 without looking at them and put them into a stack. The other player will keep their tiles face up. The architect will also take the construction token and place it in front of them. For each player in the game, use 2 of each of the color tree tokens. On a turn, the architect will draw a tile, then each other player will find the same tile and place it into their garden. Placement rules are pretty straightforward. At least one side must touch an existing tile, and all sides that do touch must match plant types. The tile can be rotated however the player wants. Once a tile is placed, it cannot be moved at a later time. If the tile that is drawn shows a white number, each player, starting with the player holding the construction token, will take one of the tree tokens and place it on the just placed tile. The color of the token must match the zone in which it is placed. The token cannot be placed on grass, and more than one tree token can be placed in a zone, but will not score any more points. When every player has placed a token, the construction token is moved to the player to the left. The game ends when the architect's tile pile is empty. You will then score your garden. Now let's fast forward to see a complete garden. Only zones in your garden that have a tree token will score, and these zones will either be open or closed. Now let's talk about zones and runes. Each tile will have 1 or more half runes on it. A zone that only has completed runes will be considered a closed zone. Here you can see that this zone is closed. There are no half runes in this block of flowers. This zone is considered open because there is at least 1 half rune here. For each closed zone with a tree token, you're going to be scoring 2 points per rune. For each open zone with a tree token, you will score 1 point for each complete rune in the zone. Half runes do not score any points. Any zone with no tree token will not score any points. And remember that a zone with more than 1 tree token will still only score once. Players add up their points, and the player with the most points is the winner. Now let's get back to the table to see what I thought about Legendary Forests.
First of all, a minor correction. In the overview, I was calling what was on these tiles flowers. They're actually leaves from 3 different types of trees, but that doesn't matter to the gameplay. So let's talk about theme and components. Theme, yeah, as you saw, this is an abstract game. The theme is non-existent. The original game is called 8-Bit Mock-Up when it was released in Japan, and honestly, the theme doesn't matter, as there's no connection to the game to what you're actually doing in the game. But you know what, being an abstract game, I'm fine with that. The components are decent quality. I mean, you get 5 sets of these tiles, the tree tokens, and the contractor token. They are all of good quality. The leaves are different enough that it's easy to see what's on here, and the tree tokens match the colors very closely, so there's no confusion as to what tree token goes on what tree color. So on to the gameplay. The game is essentially a solitaire game. It does play 2 to 5 players, and if you bought another set, you could play more than 5 players. The only real interaction you have with the other players is taking those tree tokens, because once a tree token color is gone, they're gone out of the game. So if you want to make a large pink area, make sure you get the pink tree token on there as soon as possible. Now the game itself is extremely light, and honestly, it was a bit too light for my group. There was almost no tension in the game. I do like the idea of the game, and for this type of tile placement game where everyone is placing the same tile at the same time, I would prefer something like Karuba that came out a couple of years ago. The game felt like there was very little choice to be made. When a tile was drawn, that's the tile I have to place. I can't discard it to take another action, and since you have to match on all sides when you place the tile, where you placed it became more and more limited as the game progressed. And that was an issue for me. Now the tree tokens were a little more interesting, as making sure you got them on the large zones you want to score was important. And since taking those tree tokens always started with the person with a construction token and the construction token moved, it could be that the tree token you want, by the time it comes around to your turn to pick one, is no longer available. This game is what I might recommend as a gateway game, or if you're looking for a very light game. This is a game to play with people that maybe aren't gamers. The most difficult aspect of the game is scoring with the tree tokens, but that is easily enough explained. But really, other than that situation, this game comes down for me just on the side of not recommending it. It is just too light, and there's not enough to the game to keep me wanting to come back to this. Now, you might enjoy the game first a couple times you play it, but I don't see this as a game that you're going to be coming back to in a few months, which is really unfortunate because it's good, there's just not enough in the game. But that's it for the moment. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.